Hello there. This is the Baryonyx Arctic Fox. This was a gift from Wayne Bean. Thanks, Wayne. This is supposed to be, Baryonyx calls it a 400 grit. I believe that's ANSI. On the side it says 700 JIS. So it's a lower grit stone. This is supposed to be an alternative to something like the Norton India, Fine India. This is aluminum oxide in a ceramic matrix. I have a Gerber 350 ST. This is an old 80s vintage Gerber. It's got a really nice edge on it. But not anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stone and just see how it stacks up to something like my India. The medium or the fine India is a stone that I absolutely love. Now this stone can be used with water or oil. I'm going to use water on it because that's my preference. And I'm using a very light amount of pressure. I want to get my loop. Stand by. Alright, I'm back. I just wanted to get my loop so that I can kind of look at the scratch pattern on this blade. This is Aussate steel. This is supposed to be a water stone or an oil stone, whatever it is you want to use. I have been soaking this stone in water for about at least a half an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. And it stays wet, but the water does not pool. It's still kind of soaking up water. That's not an issue if you look at the stone. It's not loading up. If I put water on the stone, and like I would if I was cleaning it with oil, you see it comes back clean real easy. So that's, to me, that's a non-issue. I'll just keep spritzing it with water, and I can see as I sharpen, water pooling up in front of the edge of the blade. So, but I did soak this stone for quite a while. When I use a soaking stone, I don't really time a soak. What I'll do is I will find something else I need to do. In this case, I was preparing and eating lunch. But I'll find something that I need to do or have to do. I would say they're right on as far as scratch pattern goes, with like a 700 JIS. This is a very nice, very fine for the grit rating edge pattern, the scratch pattern on the edge. But I generally, back to what I was talking about, I generally find something to do and just plunk the stone. There, it's holding water better now. Just plunk the stone in some water and do what I need to do, and come back to it when I'm done. One of the things that a lot of people get upset with soaking stones is that, you know, you gotta wait on them to soak, and I find that lovely. Hold on, I'm checking. I have a burr from the tip all the way to about right here, and I need to just continue a bit more, and that will be a burr completely. And that's pretty quick. But anyway, people get upset. Oh, you know, you got to soak the stone and all. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I normally don't have opportunity to just plunk down with a stone and start sharpening. I usually have to plan for the possibility that I'll be able to sharpen that day. So it's not a big deal for me to plunk the stone out in some water, or plunk it down rather, into some water and take care of something else that I need to take care of. Let the stone do its thing. But that's one of the things I like the India for, is that, you know, the India's, people don't realize the reason that the India doesn't soak up a lot of water. I want to go just a little bit longer on that. This part of the edge is being stubborn. The reason that I don't, you know, that the India doesn't soak up a crap ton of water is because the India's come impregnated with oil from the factory. So people say all the time, well, you got to get that out of the stone. I'm not what the India is impregnated with, because it's more like a Vaseline or something like that. It's not, but it's not really an oil. It's more like a grease, from what I understand. And so the water pools up on the India just fine. The stone feels smoother when you run an edge across it than it does when you run your hand across it, for whatever that's worth. Alright. That's beautiful. I'll actually, a few pieces of that burr actually fell off. So we're gonna, let me see where the stone is. Yeah. And this mat, this is just like a really cheap car mat. I'm just trying to find a way to keep a bunch of the water off the counter here. And for me, I think this is going to work just fine. So, right now anyway, the stone is cutting much faster than my fine India. And about like my medium India, to tell the truth, but much finer of an edge. And I am using just a slight bit of pressure, not very much. And the burr is almost completed on the other side. That's lovely. So now let's remove the burr. Again, this is the way I remove a burr. The way someone else might remove a burr might be completely different, but what I'm doing is making alternating passes with very light pressure. Well, actually, with a very light touch. No actual pressure whatsoever. And I'm just attempting to flip the burr from one side of the edge to the other, back and forth, until it breaks off the edge of the blade. Lovely. That's fantastic. That's a lovely, lovely job. Very quick. I really like that. Looking at the scratch pattern now. That is really close to what I would see on a straight razor with a 1K stone. There's no chipping to the edge or anything of the sort. I may actually try this stone on a straight razor in an Arkansas progression. Let's see. That's just the edge. Sometimes the paper, there's still some roughness. It looks like in certain spots, so I can't see it under the loop. But that's pretty good. Off that stone. Not bad. If I were just to strop that. If I was just, hold on a minute. This is just plain leather. Now it has a chromium oxide on the back of it, but okay, that's just 20 passes on a leather strop. Beautiful. There's something going on with the paper because it acts like it's grabbing in the middle of the blade, but then it'll do stuff like that where it's nice and smooth. So this is just cheap copy paper, but you see a strop, just a leather strop, no compounds nor anything of the sort. And I'm getting that kind of result out of that edge. Now, I bet you, like I said, to me this is a similar finish on the edge to a 1K Waterstone. if it's any less fine of a finish, then it's so little that you couldn't really, it would be hard pressed to tell side by side, I think. And that's a beautiful edge, and realistically I could come off of this stone with a kitchen knife and that would be a fantastic edge, or a work knife. You wouldn't need anything else. I don't really need to go up any higher than this for a knife that I'm going to use. If I'm going to work that knife anyway, you know, this is personal opinion, but people, and you'll see me on this channel, I'll go to a soft, and then sometimes I'll go to a hard or a black or something like that. Or if I'm using water stones, I might go to a 4K or a 6K or something like that. But you have to understand a lot of what it is that, you know, I have these stones and I have a YouTube channel, and YouTube is a visual thing. Okay, it's video, and what things look like are important. And people on a sharpening channel, they want to see nice stones and stuff like that. That's why I've contemplated for a while getting an 8x2x1 soft Arkansas instead of the 8x2x1/2 that I've got now, because people like to see a big, huge honking stone, you know. The pattern in that soft Arkansas is very beautiful, and if I ordered an 8x2x1, I could end up with a pattern that's not near as nice as that. And on video, in my opinion, that matters. Okay, but you know, a lot of the times I don't need to go past a soft Arkansas for most applications. Okay, but I do it because I have the stones, I enjoy the sharpening, things like that. Okay, but for a basic edge that will work and work really well, that's, if I took this edge and I stropped it on chromium oxide and then cleaned it off and flipped over here to smooth leather, that would be all the edge. You wouldn't need any more than that. Watch. And I like this. This is a loom strop. You see how it gives? So I don't have to lay the edge like this. I can lay that edge with the edge lifted up off of it, and when I move forward, the leather gives and wraps around and goes to the apex without any issues whatsoever, and I don't have to worry about chewing the strop up. So this is a strop that a very, very good friend of mine who helped me out hugely when I first started doing straight razor honing videos. I was honing on lapping film and had nothing, and the guy was very generous to me and sent me stone after stone after stone. He was a honer himself, and I think he just saw me and saw that I was sincere and that I was trying to help people learn how to sharpen and hone straight razors. I want to see what that paste did to that. And he just, you know, he basically brought me into, that's lovely, the straight razor world, honing world, really generously. And that was a gift from him. This was a gift from him, and it's an awesome little strop. Okay, let's see what that does to paper this time. But anyway, what I was saying is, people, look at that. You can hear the difference in the way that sounds, just how that's smoothed out. That's gorgeous. You don't need any more than that for most work knives, people, you know, you can bring a knife up to an edge that's too delicate for what it is that you're doing. For most work knives, anything past about 1,000 grit, and this is 700 JIS, 400 NS, NSAI, I believe is but the American equivalent of 400, the scale that ANSI, sorry, that Norton uses. If I brought a work knife that I was using up to like 8,000 on a Waterstone, or even a lot of times something like a Black Arkansas, a steel that is softer and doesn't, you know, it's something around between 56 and 58 Rockwell, which is pretty much most of the knives that I use and prefer. I like that steel, that Rockwell hardness, and I also think that it's really, really good for a beginner learning to sharpen, because it's not hugely difficult to sharpen it, and you can see very quickly how the stone is cutting that steel on that knife, and it makes a difference when you're learning too. But I've used steels like that all my life, and I know how to use them to their best advantage, and all of that. But you know, if you take a steel like that up to a Black Arkansas, or up to like a 6,000 or 8,000 grit Waterstone, and then you go out here and start cutting weed eater line or rope or something like that, you're going to make like 5 or 6 passes with that edge, and all that polish that you put on that edge ain't going to mean a flipping thing. It's just not. So, but this stone by itself, if you got a good knife that's in good shape, it would even cut like an initial bevel in a blade. Say you got a new blade and there was no bevel on it whatsoever. Well, this stone would cut a bevel in that blade really fast. And you could take this stone up to a stage where it would be ready for any kind of work almost that you would need to do with it. And just drop it, and you'd be good to go. So that's a fantastic stone. It's a really good value. Wayne sent me this one, and he sent me the American Mutt, which is a pretty unique stone, and we'll get into that at a later date. But it's basically a low grit grunt work kind of stone, and that stone is only like $7 or $8. And if it's as good as its reviews, by the way, look how clean that stone is. If it's as good as its reviews, and if it's as good as everyone else is saying that it is, for $7 or $8 plus probably shipping, for a very low grit stone, if you needed to move a lot of metal, dude, these are really good stones. This one is fantastic. I love it, and I think it's well worth its price, which is not very expensive. I think it's around $40, but I might be wrong. I might be misremembering. But if I only could have one stone, and one stone alone, it would be something like this, or something like a fine Norton India, these kind of stones. You know, people, they look at the higher grit stones, and they want them because they're beautiful and they're more expensive, and for some reason people think, well, that's a professional stone. No, a professional that knows what he's doing, he's going to use a lower grit stone first, and then he'll move on to all those expensive stones. But he's going to use that lower grit stone first to make sure that bevel is profiled properly, and that the apex is completely met, and all of that before he tries to move on to a higher grit stone. So your low grit stone, the quality of it is it's just as important as the quality of your more expensive stones. The wonderful thing about low grit stones is you can get a really good low grit stone for a lot less money than you're going to pay for the higher grit. So anyway, that's the Baryonyx Arctic Fox. I talked a lot more than I sharpened because the stone sharpened so fast it was almost over before I started, which is fantastic. The edge that it leaves for that kind of moving of steel is fantastic. Highly recommend. If you don't have an issue with the stone being porous and needing to soak it, I believe that you can use these with oil too. So if you wanted to use them as an oil stone, you could put some oil on there and see what it did. And if it started soaking it in, what I would do is fill me a tub full of mineral oil and sit this down in that tub of mineral oil for a week, and then pull it out and clean it off and use oil on it. If that's, that's what I would do. Don't sink it in and use motor oil or any of that stupidity. But a nice, good, clean mineral oil. If you want to load up a stone with oil so you can use it as an oil stone, that's the best way I found to do it. So either way, fantastic stone. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and I'll talk to you later.